Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Violent Memoir. I am your host, Sick Will, and this is.
Me, a Pikamain appeared.
A wild Pikamain has appeared. Time to run away.
What?
Right. Last episode, we were left with the choice. This episode, we're making the choice. Gee, I fucking wonder what the choice will be. Woo! My bias is showing, and I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's your channel.
It is my
Go
channel.
off.
I think I'll go with Lucas. Today has been a bit much, and I think just sitting down for a bit would probably do me some good. In truth, though, that's only partially the reason. The other is that I'm worried about Lucas. He's in pretty bad shape. I just want to make sure he's okay. Lucas looks surprised, like he wasn't expecting me to pick him. But he looks happy too, still flicking around with excitement, thankfully avoiding the dusty floor. It looks like Lay approves of this idea, giving me a firm nod and walking over to pat me on the shoulder. His grip is tight, but not painful, just firm.
That's a great idea. Don't push yourself. Just take some time to relax. I kind of forgot his voice.
It shows because that is a little bit too much enthusiasm.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Don't push yourself. Just take some time to relax.
Yeesh. He looks back at Lucas, who's still standing there dumbstruck, snaps his tail against the ground, making a sharp cracking sound. That startles the fox out of his dazed state and he regains his focus.
Sorry, I was just surprised. I wasn't expecting. Well, that it wouldn't pick you.
Oscar finds an opportunity to jump into the conversation. His words come across a bit harsh, but I can tell he's trying to make light of the situation. Lucas, on the other hand, looks to have taken it completely seriously. His ears drooping, and he looks timidly towards the ground.
Yeah, you guys seem like a better time. I'd probably just make things worse. When I tried to help just now, I ended up being confronted by Wallace. I'm not comforted by Wallace. I'm not good at this kind of thing.
Looks really upset, like he's about to start crying. I knew it. It was definitely correct that Lucas is in a vulnerable headspace, but clawing into his tail didn't help.
Maybe he should go with one of you instead. What? No way! You're really fun and cute.
Oscar is trying to, once again, lift up the mood of the room, but it doesn't look to be working on Lucas. If anything, it's making things worse. His ears are now pressing down. That's my normal voice. Hello. Oscar's trying to, once again, lift up the mood of the room, but it doesn't look to be working on Lucas. If anything, it's making things worse. His ears are now pressing down hard against his head, like he's almost digging at his chin, and he's almost digging his chin into his chest. Lay notices as well and leans down to my ear, whispering softly into it while the other two are distracted.
Look out for him too. He's a good kid, but he definitely needs some company too.
He looks down at me with a soft smile and gentle gaze, green eyes filled with reassurance and confidence. I'm not able to say anything without ruining the moment, so I can only give a nod, but that looks to satisfy. Pulling away from me with one final squeeze of my shoulder, Lay walks over to Oscar and grabs his wrist, tugging at it slightly. Not forcefully, just enough to get his attention.
You're only making things worse. Just let them talk. Between them. It's between them, not us.
Oscar looks like he's going to protest, but after looking down at Lay's face, they come to an understanding. His overabundance of joy falters, and he relents, taking a step away from the fox.
Yeah, sorry, Ma. I just thought I could try and, make things a bit better. I know. I'm sure Lucas knows you mean well, too.
Lay places his free hand on Lucas's shoulder as well, squeezing it like he did to me. Shoots Lucas a bit, tension leaving his shoulders. His ears are still pressed down, but he manages to look up at the towel marsupial.
You're doing fine, kid.
That's all he said before he began walking away, pulling Oscar along, who doesn't struggle in the slightest. In fact, he's smiling and muttering something I can't hear delay. Lucas looks like he wants to say something, but he's struggling to find the words, and before he can get anything out, the two of them are already out of sight. The sound of their steps growing more distance with each passing second. I walk over to him, and he looks like he's still contemplating what to say. I don't know if he's unsure what to say to them or to me, but it's like the hesitation has frozen him like an iceberg. You alright? That surprises him, ears flickering for just a moment before pressing back down against his head, still composure ajar before returning to his usual grumpy disposition.
You're comforting me again. When you should be the one when you should be the one who should be comforted. Fuck. That was a mouthful.
Yep. And you were failful. Ha 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 ha. That doesn't make sense.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You did help me though.
What?
Eyes widen and confusion sparks across his face like lightning. His entire body stalling, except for his tail, which seems to have awakened, looking about excitedly. It's rather cute, especially with his ears pointed up, exposing their pink, lightly furred insides. When he came rushing out, it really helped. I was feeling really alone, and having you around feel a lot better. So thank you.
I was a ghost, I was alone, ha. Dojin, ha. Is a gay, ha.
His eyes grow glassy as the rest of his body breaks from its frozen form. In a single motion, Fox wraps his arms around me and holds me tightly against him, burying his face in my neck. It's startling, but not unpleasant. After a moment's hesitation, I return the hug, and we stand silent in the stairwell, just basking in the warm company of each other. The only sounds are the occasional soft sob and the barely audible patter of tears on my shoulders. The well to the library was quiet, but not awkward. Comfortable silence, one filled with content. Lucas is doing much better. His entire body is much more animated, especially his usual suspects, his ears and tail. Keeping close to me as we walk through the large sliding doors, our arms brushing against each other every second step. Normally I'd be a bit opposed to this, but he looks to be taking solace in the intimacy. Helping out Lucas has been a pleasant distraction from my own thoughts. Plus, seeing him like this is a reward in and of itself. It requires some work, and Lucas doesn't always make it easy, but making him feel safe and happy makes me feel just as happy too. As soon as we're able to see the rows of bookcases, Lucas's demeanor changes completely. He relaxes, and most of the stress he'd been carrying evaporates. I did mention before that the library didn't make him uncomfortable, but I didn't think it'd actively soothe him. It's such a stark difference from the first time we walked in here together, but then again, he was going back to a group of strangers. He grasps the sleeve of my arm and tugs in with surprising force, dragging me towards one of the aisles of books, the Asian history section, apparently.
This way. This way. There's a small table at the end of this aisle. Barely anyone goes around there. It's really quiet.
Follows lead without protest, making sure I don't accidentally knock out one of the numerous protruding books or trip up on the numerous tools on the floor. Didn't know libraries had so many things to look out for. We reached the end of the bookcases, and I'm surprised by a large open space, like a secret area for people to come read. Next to the giant window, which is much taller than me, sits a small table that could fit 3 people at most. Lucas takes a seat without hesitation, and I quickly sit next to him, not wanting to sit on the other side and have so much distance between us. Through the window opposing us, I'm able to see students have begun flowing out of the buildings. I can only assume classes must have ended. Opening his tattered suitcase, Lucas fishes out a giant pile of papers and puts them to the side. I recognize them immediately as the bunch he dropped when we first met. They're in just as messy of a pile as the last time I saw them.
Very relatable.
Before I can ask about them, Lucas has already moved on to pulling out a series of books and piling them on the other end of the table. Piles high enough that I'd have to stand up to see the top book's cover. Books are all different sizes and colors, ranging from typical education readings to high fantasy adventure books. It's like he's hoarding any book he can get his hands on, regardless of genre, size, or if it's fiction or non-fiction. Everything is happening so fast, I'm barely able to get my question out before he can move on to something else. What's all this for? This perked up and his eyes widened in total shock. I wonder if he forgot I was here. It looked like he was following a routine, one that doesn't usually involve another participant. Like he was off on his own little zone.
Just schoolwork.
Uh-huh.
Shut up.
All this? Already?
I told you, I'm a junior. Things are just more intense now.
It's an obvious lie, and whoopsie boopsie.
Whoopsie boopsie.
Shut up. It's an obvious lie, and I'm about to push him about it when I remember that it isn't my place to put pressure on him. He's had a rough day and he needs support. The mystery is solved for me pretty quickly as his ears droop and he looks towards me, his expression full of shame. Looks like a little kid who just got bullied for the first time.
Sorry, that's a lie. I shouldn't lie to you. You're only ever been kind and understanding towards me.
Gives me a soft, gentle smile. The golden light of the setting sun basks his features beautifully, like a blanket of warm elegance. I'm left breathless as I watch our eyes meet, his eyes reflecting the evening's radiance. I'm unable to take my eyes away from him, and he looks towards the window bashfully. I see his cheeks and ears getting pink through his fur. After a small moment of respite, he managed to continue despite my awestruck expression.
These are from my other classes. I wasn't lying about that. I mentioned this before, but I don't go to my other classes. I don't feel comfortable in them.
Shakiness enters his voice, and I'm brought out from my torpor. Reaching my arm towards his own, I cautiously place my hand on top of his, hoping to comfort him. To my surprise, Lucas turns his hand over and grasps mine. It's awkward, but his grip is tight as if he's scared. I can tell his well-groomed fur against my skin, so soft that it's almost overwhelming. After another moment to regain his composure, he continues.
In order to make sure I stay up to date, I'm constantly reading about what we're learning and writing down whatever I study so I can come back to it if I need to.
You need to study all of this? The sheer amount of books and papers written is still unbelievable. It's only the first week. There's no way he needs to do all of this now. What kind of course is he taking? Shocking me again, Lucas gives a yip. It's the happy one, filled with amusement. Sounds like a laugh you'd stereotypically expect a fox to make.
No, I email the professors about what I need to read and they help out. help out a lot. The school is surprisingly understanding, or at least the professors I've gotten are, for the most part.
So what's all this for?
Well...
He looks away shyly, even further than the window. Turns his head completely away from me. It's hard, but I can see the very sides of his cheek turning an even deeper shade of red. This must be embarrassing for him.
Well, I actually get a bit carried away. I just find this stuff so interesting and I couldn't help but want to learn more. I ended up reading more and more until I had all of this.
So all of this was because he wanted to do it? I realized after I said it that it came out a little more judgmental than I was intending, but whoopsie. But thankfully Lucas didn't seem to notice. He just took the question straight forward.
Yeah, I've always loved to learn. I just wish it wasn't so hard. Ayo, same! But for me, I like to learn. It's just that it's hard for me to listen at lectures at times and read.
I like to learn, but I like to learn about the things that interest me. And when you're trying to force me to do things that don't interest me, of course I'm going to fail at everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, this wasn't pointed at anyone in specific whatsoever.
One of the courses I had to take was basically learning about pedagogic history, or basically the ideas of teaching in history. For example, back in the day, when religion, specifically Christianity in Europe, was very big, it became a staple where every child had to learn just to be able to read the Bible. And it was always the man of the house that would carry out these teachings. And then a priest would go door to door to see, do they know how to read yet? I would not survive.
Are they able to be indoctrinated to become children of the god yet?
Basically, yeah, that was the education in a lot of places where Christianity was big, including Sweden. And then it became where everyone basically started working in the city instead of at the farms, and children were left alone. So they decided, well, let's put them into school just so the little shits don't have to be on the streets. We don't want to teach them anything. We just don't want them around us, basically. That was my take on it, at least. They just didn't want the kids out on the streets. So they put them in schools instead. And now we teach children because we want a better society, basically. Or, yeah, prepare them to become people, essentially. But I failed my first test because I thought that Socrates had something to do with the Swedish education ideology and laws. Which Socrates wasn't. Apparently. We learn a lot about different philosophers and stuff, especially Mary Wollstonecraft and John Dewey. Anyway, Yep.
Now we're looking... That entire conversation, I was just staring into the void, listening to your voice, and definitely only listening to your voice, not your word.
What? What does that mean?
That was listening to your voice, but not your words. Pretty self-explanatory.
Oh. Okay, so what philosophers did I mention?
We're not on school. Don't test me. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. Now we're looking back to the reason we're here in the first place, hiding in the corner of a library. I don't mean this in a bad way, but if being here makes you so uncomfortable, why are you here? Surely there are some completely online courses you could take. I give his hand a squeeze, hoping that'll give him some reassurance that I'm not judging or admonishing him, but I just want to understand. He pushes back tightly and meets my gaze, face once again bathed in the beautiful evening sun. I wish he'd take off his glasses so I could see his eyes without the light reflecting off the lens.
I'm here because I want to change.
There's conviction in his voice, an unwavering resolve that I've never heard from him before. Still gripping my hand tightly. I wonder if that's helping him.
I told you before, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to always be hiding away, to be scared around others, to let my fears of this place control me.
Silence falls between us, and Lucas just leans his head. Shoulders begin to shake, and the hand gripping mine is just as tight as ever. I want to let him struggle like this, or at least to have to struggle alone. If I'm here, I know I can help. Or at least try to. Shuffling my chair closer to the fox, he either doesn't notice or doesn't react. What he does react to is my arm wrapping around his shoulder. I can't give him a proper hug, but I can try my best. He stretches himself up for a moment, his entire body frozen as if someone had just grabbed his tail and cruelly yanked it. After a moment, he relaxes and even leans towards me, allowing me to wrap my arms around him. Now that we're so close, and I can feel his heartbeat, there's a fragility to him I hadn't noticed. And I'm not meaning physically, but mentally. Almost like he's an autumn leaf. Brittle, but still beautiful. Scent of fox floods my nose, but it's not unpleasant. Nice floral scent is mixed in, and though I'm unsure what flower it's supposed to be, it blends well with its natural aroma. Our smell's really that interesting.
Huh?
Our smell's really that interesting?
Sometimes, though I don't really pay much attention to it unless it's really strong. My mom, however, has a super sensitive smell.
Yeah, no, I have the fucking opposite where, haha, I can only smell gasoline, cigarettes, and paint. And pee sometimes.
For me, yeah. I'm more of a visual and auditory observant person.
Same. Mainly because the other senses don't fucking work. Except touch, touch works.
One of my friends who also has autism, when we were at graduation, they said, "Good luck, you crazy autist." Basically trying to combine artist and autism.
Yes, artist.
And I fucking loved it.
Yes.
Be proud of your
Be gay, do crime.
Be gay, be autistic, do very specific and odd crimes.
Okay. Right. Line. We sit there and repose together, feeling as though time itself has stopped for the two of us. Beautiful pageant time, bathed in the progressively waning sunlight.
Thank you for everything.
Calm tranquility is shattered by Lucas's soft mutters into my chest. And down, the first thing I notice is how much more relaxed he looks. He's been released from some intense weight. For the first time, I'm not being distracted by his eyes, and I'm able to see just how handsome the rest of him looks too. His arc very smooth and shimmers when the light hits it, and his physique is surprisingly lithe and strong for someone who doesn't seem like they leave the house often. Feels nice to hold someone against my chest. Soft fur pressing through the fabric and tickling my chest slightly. It's warm and comforting. But every moment has to come to an end, and Lucas, eventually...
Eventually.
I sure hope that my mic punch went through and punched Q in the face. But every moment has to come to an end, and Lucas, eventually, pulls away from me and sits up straight, resuming his original posture. You adjust his fur like it's instinct, second nature exclusive to just this strange fox. His eyes are glassy, but they don't look sad. They twinkle with reflections of the sun, and he looks more serene than I've ever seen him before. I have to hold back the instinct to pull him back against my chest.
What other classes do you have?
Huh?
What other classes do you have? I can probably help you with them. Help you out with them. I spend a lot of time self-learning, so I can probably help you with any other classes you have.
Bio, lit, and economics.
What's lit?
Literature.
Oh, literature. Lit 103 or 112?
103, I
Fun
think.
fact, sorry. Fun fact, 112 is the emergency number of Sweden.
It's also the... I've forgotten my own country's emergency number.
Excuse me, what?
I don't know if it's...
What?
I don't know if it's... I don't know if it's 112 or 115.
If I had a guess, maybe it's 115 because
Yeah.
don't countries usually differ their emergency numbers?
Yeah. It would make sense if it's 115.
Good job.
I know at least
I
it
hope-
starts with 1-1, okay?
Really narrowing it down, huh?
I mean, it's narrowing it down to 10 different numbers that it could be. No, it's 115. I'm pretty sure it's 115. Anyway. 103, I think. It's about classical literature.
I did that. What was the reading?
Love Letters of a Duchess. It's a bit confusing and hard to follow. The old-timey speech and lack of a consistent timeline throws me off a lot.
We didn't do that one, but I have read it. Let me help.
Oh, I don't have the book on me. Late as till tomorrow. Plus, it's fine. It's just a reading. I can do...
That's fine. I can help. Trust me. Stay here.
Before I can respond any further, Lucas gets up and disappears back down the Asian history aisle, heading deeper into the library and out of my sight. I'm not even given enough time to wonder what is happening before Lucas is already returning with the book in his hand. A very familiar book. I didn't even know all the areas of my high school library that I spent every lunch in, but somehow Lucas knew exactly where to find this book in seconds. Autism.
Fuck, I laughed so hard that the strings on my ukulele on my bed reacted. Maybe Lucas really enjoys this library, who knows?
Considering the fact that the moment that he entered, he completely fucking relaxed. Gee, I fucking wonder.
Here. I didn't have it as an assignment, but a reading circle I'm part of online recommended it to me. Recommended it. It's a really great read. You got really lucky.
Not engaging me very well.
That's because you're having issues following it. Like I said, let me help.
I feel like this is less of a choice or more of what's going to happen. I wonder if this is a Fox thing or a Lucas thing. was always said foxes were good at getting what they want, but I always thought it was a joke or an unfair stereotype. Flipping to the start of the book, Lucas helps break down the structure to make it easier to follow, putting out little signals for when the story has changed times. I'm taken aback by the confidence he's displaying. It's unlike anything I've seen from him before. Even though we spent 20 minutes breaking down the first few chapters of a recommended reading I was given, time flies by and I really do feel like I understand the book better by the end. The next hour is a peaceful silence as I continue reading past the chapter requirements. Lucas is now focusing on his own workload. The only sound around us is the tapping or scribbling of his pen. When I finally notice that the sun is almost completely set, I close my book and look over towards my companion, who's been silent for a long time. What I see, though, is his body slumped onto the table, his breathing soft but noticeable now that I'm paying attention to it. He's fallen asleep directly on top of the book he was reading. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to drool. That's resting on one of his arms while the other still has the pen. Fuck. That resting on one of his arms while the other still has the pen between his fingers. The only movement coming from the fox is the occasional twitch of his tail, his large gray tip flicking around erratically. A response to something in his dream, if I had to guess. I wonder what he's dreaming about. He looks peaceful. I consider just going back to reading until he wakes up, but it'll probably be a better idea to head home before the sun completely sets. Gently placing a hand on his arm, I rub it gently while whispering his name. Try to be extra light with my touching. He was high-strung earlier today, and I don't want to freak him out. I've always been a bit jumpy. After a few seconds of his treatment, he stirs slightly, white groan slipping between his lips, but he quietly recovers and pushes himself off the table. Hey, easy now. Just me. His eyes flutter partially open and looks towards me with unfocused eyes. Glasses are crooked, only allowing one eye to see through them. He looks so goofy that it makes me giggle, but that only adds to his confusion. Adjusting his glasses and checking his fur for any fluffed out areas, makes himself look like his usual formal self. Sorry for waking you. I thought you might want to head home before it gets dark.
No, you're fine. I shouldn't have passed out. I don't get a lot of sleep, so this happens a lot.
How much is a lot?
More than... Fuck!
More than you can fuck?
More than you can fucking not let me read my line! More than you're thinking, I can assure you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have let you sleep more then. I didn't realize...
No, you shouldn't have. Like I said, I'd rather not head home after dark. I just have problems sleeping. That's why I'm up most nights. Oh my god, same. I take pills for that. I take melatonin.
Meow 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 meow. Wait, shit. You mentioned that at class today, that you went to sleep around when I did last night.
Yeah, that happens most nights. It's... a fucking problem.
Return of foul language gives me the hint that this is clearly a sore spot for the fox, so I decided to steer the conversation away from it. Shall we head back then? We don't have much longer before it gets dark.
Yeah, thanks for coming with me today. I really enjoyed the company.
Me too. It's really great to see you in your element. Oh, right, yeah, I'm the main character. Hello. He has a confused look on his face, and he thinks about that for a second, still stopping completely as if he's trying to process something. He doesn't respond for a couple of seconds, so I clarify myself. You look a lot more comfortable here. Now that he understands, it causes his ears to perk up with surprise. In fact, his entire body posture seems to sit up straighter. Very cute to watch.
Yeah, I really enjoyed reading. Fuck. Yeah, I really enjoy reading and books. Well, those are the same things, but you understand. Plus, it's not directly part of the school, so that helps a lot. So, can we go?
His reaction just now is rather strange, which at least confusion to what I said earlier, but I don't want to press him about it. And it's look a little jittery, and I'm pretty sure it's because of whatever just happened. And what is going to happen is the end of the episode. Ow, I just popped my knee. Okay. Whoopee! I love Lucas. I love him so much. He is you know?
I totally understand.
Yippee. Anyway.
I understand.
Shut up. Anyway. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, like, comment, and subscribe to any of those things in any order. I don't really mind. And if the content on my channel wasn't enough to satisfy you, can go over to Pikamain's channel.
Where we're still our lovely idiot selves.
Yes. And
But
Pikamain
I
is also his
also
idiot
do
self alone.
voice. I also do voice impressions / attempts and music covers lately. Yay!
Yippee. Yay.
Especially, I don't know when this is coming out, but I did recently post a Brute from Infinite Space cover of Bad Little Girl from
I'm
Adventure Time.
sorry, you what?
Oh yeah, I did a Jazz and Brute voice attempt / voice impression.
I
And then
didn't know
in
that had a fucking cover in it.
Oh yeah, I did a cover, and yeah, I also did a cover, but I also uploaded it separately.
What
Later.
the fuck? Okay, well, with all of that out of the way, I hope that I get to see you on the next episode, but even if I don't, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're gay.